Hey, brother Hacky. Is it Hacky or
Hey,
Hack?
hacky.
Hacky? Awesome.
Yep, hacky, like hacky sack.
Nice. That's awesome. It's nice to meet you.
Well, it's good to meet you. I appreciate you meeting with me.
Yeah.
Um, now, Mark gave me your name.
Okay. Nice.
I hope that's okay.
Yeah,
So,
totally. Totally.
You could take it on him if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, good. Where are you at right now?
I am in Arizona. I
Okay.
I actually just came home. That's why I'm a few minutes late. I had a gap between meetings for work, and so I was like, I could either stay at the office late or I could come home now and then finish at home. So I decided to come
Finish
home.
at home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're not late. You're right on time because the you signed up for 4:10, so you're fine.
perfect. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, Brother Hackey, I teach at BYU Idaho.
Cool.
I'm on sabbatical and on our 7 week break. That's why I've got the goatee. I'm trying
Nice.
to
Looks good.
rebel a little bit. um, I'm looking for the it factor of employability.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm doing my sabbatical research on is finding out what it is we should be teaching at BYU Idaho that gets people ready to contribute to society a little bit better.
Yeah.
Keep a job, get promoted in a job, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that will better them to help provide for their families and stuff too. So that's my
Yeah.
mission.
That's cool. That's super cool.
Cool. Where do you work at?
I work at Honeywell Aerospace.
Okay.
Um, I just started here in June. So I graduated from BYU Idaho in 2023, I think July 2023, and then started at Deloitte in accounting, or like at auditing here in Phoenix, or I guess Gilbert, Phoenix area. And
Uh-huh.
then was there for just under 3 years, and then just got a new job at Honeywell in accounting as well. So
Okay. Uh, did you work with or do you are you affiliated with oh sheesh, I forgot his name. There at Honeywell. Ryan.
Ryan Bingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't work for him, but I've been on calls with him actually quite a few times the last couple weeks. So I've like
Okay.
met him, talked to him, and yeah, so I know him. Yeah,
Did he hire you? Or
he
was he
did
part
it.
of that process? Okay.
No, that'd been cool though.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I talked with him about the same stuff, and so
cool.
I'm not going to use Honeywell in any of my research, and so don't worry
Sure,
about that. I'm just mostly looking
sure.
for principles and characteristics.
Yeah,
Um, so as I go through these questions, I've got 10 of them.
sure.
I'm going to go through 4 stages. I've got the finding stage, the interview stage, the initial trial stage, kind of like, all right, did we hire the right person? And then the promotion stage.
Cool.
And so I've got 2 questions per each. So
Sweet.
you ready?
Yeah, sure. That sounds awesome.
Okay, awesome. So as you go through this, I want you to think about the best employees or coworkers that you've had, even
Okay.
if it's not at Honeywell, and just answer the following questions with them kind of in the back of your mind,
Sure.
because I'm trying to find that it factor, like what is it
Yeah,
that they have?
yeah,
And then, and if you have stories or examples, I would love to hear those because that actually
sure.
helps when I do training and stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, when you think about the best people your company has hired, how are they first discovered or noticed?
When I was at Deloitte, it was pretty much all through campus hires. And so there was a really big emphasis on like campus recruiting. So we had recruiters that would spend pretty much their whole time just going from college to college, you know.
Mhm.
And so they would be doing, meet the firms stuff. They'd be doing like Q&As or things of that nature. I think with
Mhm.
how like the best candidates were identified by them, I think for them the most important thing is people that would just show up to stuff. So like, if they were holding a meet the firms um, at a specific college, they might hold them 2 or 3 times a year. If it's the same people showing up every time, I think
Mhm.
from my discussions with them, that was something that was really big. If, same people showing up every time, or people that are reaching out proactively and trying to, get to know them or things like that. Um, at Honeywell, I'm not 100% sure yet kind of how the process works, but I know
Yeah.
at Deloitte, that was like a big thing was campus recruiting, and then finding students that were like had good grades and that sort of thing, but were really proactive in communicating with them.
Okay. Um, do you do you ever sort through applications in your current job or when you worked at the other one?
Yeah, not yet. Not at this
Okay.
job. My old job, I would help. I helped with recruiting where I'd look at resumes occasionally, but not
Uh-huh.
from like a hiring perspective, more of like helping students kind of get ready for applying and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Um,
Was there anything in that process that made somebody stand out with looking at their resumes and such?
yeah, I think having work experience like was because like there are some applicants that I'd look at that didn't have anything really.
Hmm.
And it makes sense coming to college and your school is probably your focus, but the students that had like work experience, any work experience at all, but then work experience with in the field, related maybe to the field. So like for accounting, like students that might have been a bookkeeper or done an internship in auditing or um, some sort of work experience, I think was really big just from like a substance. And then like from formatting things like that, you could kind of tell resumes that had spelling or weren't they didn't pay attention to detail, things like that. And so I feel like the best applicants had kind of a combination, or best resumes that I saw had a combination of like substance, like they'd worked in college, they'd done more than just gone to school, and then their formatting and things was really detail oriented. Um, and then I think too, I had the opportunity to meet with a lot of students while I was at Deloitte for like just like
Hmm.
informational interviews, that sort of thing. I think something that stood
Hmm.
out was the ones that were like on time and like had good questions and
Hmm.
that sort of thing. I unfortunately had a lot of experiences where they'd reach out to schedule something, and so I'd join the call, and then they'd be 30 or 45 minutes late, and then would be like in their dorm, in their dorm on their phone, like laying in bed talking to me and stuff. And so I think that versus the students that were like really well prepared and things like that made a difference.
Interesting. Just the little things. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So uh, so are you involved with the current hiring process there in Honeywell?
Yeah, not really. Not, I
Okay.
mean, I'm kind of like from like submitting referrals, but not like anything very substantial.
Okay. Um, let's see. What do you think? Are there any signs or gaps that makes somebody n- not hireable from your experience, even if they appear to be qualified on paper?
Yeah. Um, I'd probably say like their ability just to kind of like get along, with like the interviewers or get along with people. Like I know there were people that we hired at Deloitte that were very, very like qualified, like they had internship experience, they had work experience, that sort of thing, did really well in school, but maybe just like personality wise, they were just I don't want to say arrogant, but maybe just kind of, couldn't read the room, so to speak. And so I think from a campus hire perspective, I think recognizing that like you put in a lot of effort and you're really smart at things, but also recognizing that like there's a lot to learn. I think that was something that maybe for people that looked good on paper didn't necessarily play out.
Interesting. Um, from your experience, after somebody is hired, are there any qualities or behaviors that help them stand out as a strong fit for the workforce?
Yeah, I think in when I was at Deloitte, the new hires that stood out a lot were the ones that had an ability to kind of I want to say figure things out on their own, but kind of had the initiative to kind of try to work through problems on their own. Um, and not that, you can't ask questions or things, but kind of had this sort of like driven, I guess, ability to get presented with a problem, maybe not have a ton of direction, and then to spend time to try to think through things and figure it out on their own. And then when they run into issues, come back and ask questions and things. I think people that were, I'd say just dependable. Like if you ask them to do something, they do it, or they try to do it. Um, they do what they say that they're going to do, or at least try, and then come back with questions. I also had a few experiences with new hires that were super nice, super personable, had the on paper good experience, but they were also really bad at their time, and things like that. And
Mhm.
so like we'd give them a task that should take maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then we wouldn't have it finished for 3 or 4 hours, and then when it was finished, it was partially done. Um, and I think honesty too, being honest about status and things. There's
Mhm.
times where people might try to sugarcoat things or um, not take ownership over stuff. I think that honestly the biggest thing I think would just be the candidates that have done really well are the ones that have taken ownership of stuff. They've been proactive, they've been dependable, they've tried to think through things on their own and work hard. Like I think of that talk. I thought about this a lot the last like year and a half. That talk by Lindsay Robbins on being
Hmm.
responsible and responsible. Like if everybody could do that, like I guess the new hires that I worked with, the ones that were really successful are ones that kind of applied that sort of mentality
Yeah.
versus ones that maybe didn't do as well, or ones that kind of pushed things off or tried to push it to other people, things like that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Are there any skills or characteristics that separate employees who are simply performing their jobs versus those that become strong candidates for promotion?
I think, and obviously my experience is limited, but I think from my experience, just like asking for more, like you're completing your tasks and stuff, but like asking, hey, can I try this out? Can I help you with this? How can I try this area? Can I do this thing? Can I take on more responsibility? Kind of a proactive
Hmm.
mindset of looking for more. Like how can I grow? Because I think a lot of people want like people that they supervise to like grow and they want to help them develop, but it's hard and you have 1,000 things going on to make the time. And so I think when people are proactive about um, looking for opportunities to try new things or kind of grow themselves, I think that stands out a lot.
Uh, are there well, when you think about the people who are most successful in your organization or industry, what qualities, characteristics, or skills do they possess, or that they constantly demonstrate?
Um, that's a good question. I think they're able to juggle a ton of different things at once. Um, like able to balance, competing priorities, able to keep track of things. They do, at least from my experience, they do what they say that they're going to do. Like, if we're in a meeting with a vice president or something, and they say that they're going to do this, like 9 times out of 10, it'll get done. Um, I think they work hard. Like, there's a desire to like, not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of people out there that are kind of addicted to work. So I think, but I think, like, I think about like Ryan Bingham. Like, I haven't worked with him a ton, but just kind of what I've
Yeah.
seen from him, like he's somebody that he's been very successful, and like he obviously works really hard, but it's not like he's addicted to his work, So I think an ability to balance like what's work really hard and put in the effort, like put in, stay longer, do things, but also not sacrifice maybe things outside of work to a degree, I guess. I don't know.
I like that. Yeah, because there needs to be that balance.
Yeah.
Um, are there any qualities or behaviors or skills that prevent people from being promoted even when they appear uh, to be good at their job?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it probably comes down to like personality, like are they likable? Like you have somebody that's I feel like is really good. I'm trying to think of specific examples, but somebody that's really good at their job, but if they're not teachable or coachable or like um, don't fit within the organization, personality types and things, then that kind of makes it hard. Um, Also, like you can have somebody that's really good at their like I saw this a lot at Deloitte, somebody that's super good at what they do, but they haven't been exposed to like other areas, different tasks or different types of tasks, things like that. And so that kind of limits them because when we go to promote like a staff auditor, for instance, if they haven't audited certain areas of the financial statements, then we can't. They might be great at auditing what they've seen, right? But they can't get promoted because they haven't seen other stuff. So I think that kind of comes back to being proactive and reaching out and trying to take on new responsibilities because you're able to kind of broaden your skill set. And so then you can be great at what you do, but if you don't have a broad enough skill set, then it's hard to get promoted into something you've never done before, don't have any clue about how to do.
Hmm.
So
Okay, we got one last question for you. You
yeah,
ready?
yeah.
If you were to advise your 17-year-old self
Mm,
who wants to be hired succeed, promoted, all the
Yeah.
above. What would you tell yourself to develop first and why?
Um, it's a good question. I think to not procrastinate, I'd say, like an ability to, I guess, manage time and not procrastinate. So I think, like when I was in high school, I feel like I had a lot of potential, but I didn't really like um, take advantage of it because I just kind of was lazy, and kind of procrastinated homework and studying and never really learned how to like study and things. And so then when I got to college, I was a lot better. I went on a mission, kind of grew up a little bit, and then came back and was a lot better. But I still struggled with, yeah, like studying and kind of putting in the extra effort in school. I've been lucky, I think, in work. Because I think some of the motivations for work for me are a little bit different than school. So I'm able to kind of, I feel like I'm more motivated at work than I am at school. But I think looking back, I'd say probably just learning how to not procrastinate
Mhm.
and kind of work through things.
Sorry, just taking that note.
Yeah. It's weird because I've actually thought about this a lot the last couple of months. And like,
Uh-huh.
I feel like with school, the motivations that kind of drive me as an individual aren't as there, and they should be, but like they aren't as much as they are in the workplace. And so I think I was
Right.
thinking of this like in work, like I feel like I feel really driven and motivated to do stuff and to be really successful. And I think I was thinking about it like a month ago, and I think it's because the pressures or motivations that are in the workplace are a little bit different, than in the classroom. And so I
Yeah.
feel like I wish I'd figured out how to tap into that more when I was in school, how to like find the things that motivated me to do better, to study harder, things like that, and kind of tapped into that. Because it's great now, because like I feel super motivated to be successful, and so um, like I feel like I put a lot more effort into work than I do. Maybe some of that's just having to pay for bills
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Well,
um,
yeah, it's hard when you're taking a math class that you're like, yeah, I don't
yeah,
really think I'm going to use this. I don't find
yeah,
value in it. Or,
yeah,
yeah, there's always those classes to do it. But
yeah,
yeah, still finding the motivation to do those things, even though it's not fun.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's
totally.
awesome. Well, yeah, it's not much of an interview as far as that goes, but this is valuable information that I'll gather and collect. Ultimately, my goal is to interview 100 people.
That's
And
awesome.
so if what I say should say when I reach back out to you,
Yeah,
can you think of some people,
yeah,
uncles, people that you grew up with, or
yeah,
even people that are just not
sure.
even tied to BYU Idaho?
Yeah,
I would
definitely.
love for you to introduce me to them so I could further this study.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll definitely reach back out to you, and I appreciate it, and I'll
Yeah,
put this data in there. And oh, I forgot to tell you, and I guess if you don't give me permission, then I'll have to.
yeah,
I did record this. I don't know if
yeah.
you
You're
noticed.
good. Yeah, you're
Okay,
good. Yeah, totally
good.
fine.
Well, and do you go by Phil or Philip?
Either usually Phil, but it's just a little bit shorter. So, but I'm fine with
Okay,
either. Yeah, either works great.
okay. Well, Phil, it was good to meet you, and
Thank
thank
you.
you, and congratulations on getting a good job at a good
Thank you.
company.
Thank you.
That's pretty awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll reach
Awesome.
back out to you
Yeah,
probably in a week or so.
cool. Will you send out like the results of kind of the study at the end, or kind
Yeah,
of
because I'm going to keep everybody's information. I've
cool?
had enough people that were like really interested in my
Yeah,
findings,
yeah,
and they're pretty interesting findings. Uh, it's interesting because I want to do 100 people.
yeah,
There's themes that are starting to develop
yeah.
that I would love to share those. So yeah,
That's cool.
no problem.
Okay, that's really cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, Phil. I appreciate your
Sweet.
time.
Yeah, likewise. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.